The strikes are over. Unfortunately, we got some bad news about Marvel again, and we get a brand new trailer of the brand new Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and we've got a whole lot more, and I can't wait to dive into this episode. So as always, before we kick it off, you know what comes up next.
Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
As always, thank you very much for everyone tuning in for this episode. Whether you're brand new or a seasoned person, I thank you every single one of you every single week. But I have to also thank 3,500 people earlier this week, but currently right now we're at 3,700. As I made, if you are watching, I did make a graphic saying thank you for 3,500. However, we're already past that. Subscribers on YouTube, which I'd like to say thank you very much for every single person who is subscribed to the channel. It means the world to me as we continue to grow. And you know, everyone who tunes in, comments, all of it, I love it, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And it means the absolute for me. And yes, 100%. OLSFRLOLs, also for the lols. I probably butchered that. Who's just commented pizza, which I just didn't. I didn't have pizza, but I'll enjoy it. Just had chicken. And thank you very much, Ben, on the Facebook as well. Very appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir. It's 12 months ago. We weren't anywhere close to this number. So just people say, time, it all takes time, and you just don't know what is around the corner, and you don't know what's going to happen next. So anyone who's a content creator, podcaster, YouTuber, who's ever grinding, I know you probably heard this 1,000 times, but just keep going. Keep going. Keep pushing. I'm not stopping until that little number there hits 6 digits, which I currently now I'm 30, probably will be when I'm 40. And thank you very much, sir. He said you're the best. Thank you very much. When we start this journey, the friends we've made, the people we've met, I just wish I started this sooner for everyone who we've met. But look, enough about the housekeeping. You guys know how much you mean to me and how much heartfelt it is. So I thank every single one of you, and I say thank you to every person that subscribes, listens, tunes, all of it. So thank you so much. But let's dive into the news, which we had a massive week. As I mentioned, we've got some good, some bad, and we've got the reviews for the Loki season final, and we saw the Marvels. So let's get with the kickoff. The very first thing, which I forgot to mention on last week's episode. Now, last week's episode, we got the brand new trailer for Echo. Now, that's dropping in January. That is the next Marvel Disney Plus show that is arriving after Loki in live action. We will have the What If series season 2 dropping in Christmas, but Echo is the next one. Now, what I forgot to mention is that Echo will be going under a new Marvel banner called Marvel Spotlight. Now, if anyone doesn't remember, a few years ago, probably a little bit 10 to 15 years ago, maybe, there was 2 movies that came out called Punisher Warzone and Ghost Rider: The Spirit of Vengeance. Now, these 2 movies were quite unique because they were under a particular banner called Marvel Knights. Now, what this banner was meant to be was meant to bring more grittier versions of the Marvel Universe, taken away from Spider-Man, X-Men, something a little bit more brutal, a little bit more darker. Now, obviously, with everything changed with Disney and Marvel Knights only had those 2 films. So now they've made Marvel Spotlight, which essentially will be doing the exact same thing. So I have no doubt that not only will Obviously, Echo will be on the Marvel Spotlight. I would say if it spans even further, maybe Deadpool 3, because Deadpool 3 is going to be the very first R-rated MCU film. And this will also expand to Daredevil Born Again, which is coming. So I'd say at least those 3 projects will go under this banner called Marvel Spotlight. Which Echo January, we've already got it all scheduled up. It will be a massive, it won't be a weekly review. Echo is dropping in one big hit. Now, obviously, the biggest news of all, that's just bloody outstanding and fantastic, is the strike's over. The strike is over, it is done, it's dusted after 118 days, which I do believe it wasn't, except for, I think, back 1920 or 1910. Ran about there was the last time both writers and actors were on strike at the same time. But the writers' strike ended, I want to say, about a month ago now. Now the actors is finally done as well, which is great to hear. I hope they get paid what they deserve, all the royalties, and the fact that obviously with the merging of AI and likeness, and that's all been sorted out as well, because that was a big factor. Now, I'm also very glad, and which I've said on this podcast show multiple times, is I feel for the actors, but everything has been put on hold and been delayed. So now the strike is over. All the films that are currently on pause will start going back into production as of next week or over the next month. So that will start. So, for example, Beetlejuice 2, Gladiator 2, Deadpool 3, they will all go back into production and start kicking off. However, I am very much glad that this is over, but this also does create another issue at the same time. So I do believe because of what's happened, it will be 10 months from now. But it could be no. I'd say 10 months, because everything's already been delayed already, is that we will see a lull and a bit of space between movies and TV shows. We may even see a dip in quality as well for what's happened. Because it's nothing to do with the actors. It's obviously to do with the big companies. But you are going to see that big gap happen a little bit further when delays. All things maybe be a little bit clustered together. Because out of this, we have had a very first announcement, since this is done, of delays that are on its way. But I woke up to this, and I was so glad when I saw it. I cheered. Fantastic to see. Props to all the actors that went out on strike with the picket fence and put their hand up. So good for all them. Now, this was really weird as well. This one's really weird. So the massive Barbenheimer phenomenon that we did have, which was both films were fantastic for the genres, killed out of the park, and both helped each other become massive global success because of it, because everyone was going to do a Barbenheimer event, which you're going to watch Barbenheimer. Sorry, you're going to watch Barbie and then watch Oppenheimer, which I recommend a lot of people probably watch Oppenheimer before Barbie, so you're not sad. So you are sad, then you want happy instead of happy and sad, because obviously we know what the ending is to Oppenheimer. Now, of course, as anything, it has been reported that a Barbenheimer movie is in production and will be coming out sometime next year or 2025. And what the plot will be is that Barbie goes to the real world, doesn't like it, and is contemplating to destroy it with a giant bomb. I am not kidding you. This is on the table. This is on production. Get ready for a live action Barbenheimer movie. Yep. So I'd love to know what you all think about this. I don't think there'll be any major people in this film. This will be a B movie, no pun intended, because of Barbenheimer. But as we've all been clamoring, we will finally get a Barbenheimer movie that is arriving sometimes soonish. Now, also in the very past week, we got some brand new posters of The Boys Season 4, which one of the posters was Homelander celebrating, and then the next one was Busher walking, it looks like after the party, and looks a bit sad. So we've been told Boys is indeed coming in 2024. Boys was one of the projects that was delayed, obviously, for Gen V. But that's coming in 2024. And not to mention, we've also found out from the directors and the writers that this will pick up a few days after Gen V. So literally, this will just be straight. You go Gen V, Boys, right into this. Go, go, go. So I'm 100% confirmed that by judging what happened at the end of Gen V, if you haven't watched it, and by those posters, we are going to get the Lex Luthor storyline of Lex Luthor becoming president. Homelander will try to run for president, which makes things even much worse because obviously, and damn right, do GS on the Twitch. So thank you very much. Yeah, the Boys. Now, I do wish we had an actual date, but I can't ask for too much. So, judging from previous years, I would say it will drop, and obviously with Gen V2, it will drop around about June, July. I'm all for. I hope it is sooner, but this is when it is looking. But it's great to know the fact that where this picks up, it's in full production. I do believe they're also finishing off all the special effects. But for anyone's Boys fans, at least we got some posters. At least we know when it's coming out roughly and where it's going to be. It's going to be a huge season. Now, this was also confirmed by Kevin Feige himself. Now, there was rumors, speculation, and a lot more going into this, but we have already got confirmation of the next R-rated MCU movie, which is Blade. So we have a little bit of news about the Blade release date, but Blade will be your next R-rated MCU movie, which is pushing Marvel into that direction of the more adult, I was supposed to say adult content, more mature films. Now, I know Blade has had a serious up and down journey, but look, if we could take it from the fact that it's going to be R-rated, that's the best thing. And you're like, oh, not everything needs to be R-rated. Look, Blade needs to be. And if you watch the original films, it needs to be R. It needs to be R. So I'm glad they're not going to push about that at all. Now, also that we got in the past week was we got a brand new trailer for the Ghostbusters film that was under the codename Firehouse. It's called Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Now, I did a trailer reaction to it. I'm starting to do more trailer reactions. If you are interested, please go give it a watch. I was very excited to do this one because Ghostbusters is my childhood. I loved it, and I thought Ghostbusters Afterlife was really good. A great legacy sequel to the first two, and pushing on to the next generation. So this looks to no joke. I know you're probably going to laugh, but it is 100% if Frozen meets Ghostbusters. From the whole trailer, by different scenes, you're like, okay, this is literally someone's gone watching Frozen, gone, imagine if we had the Ghostbusters. Boom, let's add them in. There's the plot. Done. Frozen, Earth, print it, done. Let's do it. So all the characters are returning. Even the original Ghostbusters are returning as well. So we got a full study cast with a few new members like Patton Oswalt. Looks like it's going to be a good time. March 28th. Someone might correct me on that, but March 28th is when it's coming out. So pumped for that because it was meant to come out in December. However, again, with the delays, you know where I'm going with this. But Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and I do believe this is meant to be a kind of like a global film. The Ghostbusters might have expanded internationally, and there might be a few other firehouses around the world, thanks to the backing of the money that we obviously what we've seen so far. But definitely know what you like. Tell me what you like about the trailer, the good, the bad, and do you believe it's also hosted Frozen meets Ghostbusters? Now, another one that was kind of surprised that this could be a good thing, this could be a bad thing. Legend of the Zelda live-action movie is on the way. Sony is making the film. The original creator of Legend of Zelda is working with them. This will be the most recent and the second dabble. I want to say second dabble. Might be a third, but you probably won't remember the second either. Nintendo live action movie after Sonic. Now, there is a lot of plethora of stories they could do with Legend of Zelda. Who's going to be Link? Who's going to be Zelda? Obviously, Link has to talk in the movie, not like Master Chief. He's going to have to talk, but it is currently on the way. Now, there is one little bad thing that I was a little bit nervous about. It's Avi Avrad, I can't remember his first name, has mentioned that he's producing the film along with Sony and everything. This man was the one who produced Morbius. This is also a man who had created conflict in Spider-Man 3. So this man really has got a great track record. And I'm pretty sure, if someone might correct me, I don't think Kevin Feige likes him at all due to his tenure at Marvel. But he's producing the film. So the same that he produced Morbius, he's producing this. So this could this could just look bad. This could just look like a giant pile of poo. I hope it's not. I hope Nintendo take the same amount of care and passion as they've done with Sonic and Super Mario, and the fact that this does hit us, because there's so much story to Legend of Zelda. The fact you could really pump out this being into a 3-picture, 6-picture TV series. I would have almost said a TV series because, Game of Thrones. I think that was a rumor ages ago. The producers of Game of Thrones were looking to make a Legend of Zelda movie. There is so much fan out. There is an IGN trailer out there. Like, there's so much. But no release date. This just says it's been working on. So I would say 2026 at this current stage with the access strike just fine. But let me know, who do you want to see play as Zelda? Who do you want to see play as Link? Let the casting wishing commence. Now, this is what we have been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. Something I wasn't expecting we would see this year, but Rockstar posted on their social media that they know how Rockstar began, 25 years of making games, what the mission statement was, and the next generation of gaming, and the fact that early December, we will be getting the very first trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6, which has been a long time coming. We will get there. Now, obviously, I still remember when we got the first trailer of Grand Theft Auto 5, and I was blown away. I was like, holy, this is going to be fantastic. And we will be getting Grand Theft Auto 6 early trailer. So, my prediction is if we get the trailer now, I'd say it's going to be about October next year. We will get Grand Theft Auto 6. However, in saying that, let's keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, is that when Red Dead Redemption 2 got its release dates, got its trailer, everything, and when it got, I think it was about a month. I want to say a month. A month out, it got delayed by a year. I'm really hoping this will not be the case for Grand Theft Auto 6, because Rockstar know how many people are waiting for this, the excitement, everything. Now, here's the biggest thing. I would say, out of all the gaming companies that are out there, now they all have their special things they do across the board. But Rockstar, I've always considered a different beast to the rest, a different animal. Because every time they release a game, it's an event. Rockstar games, when they release, they're an event because of the storytelling, the how much they put into it, the graphics, what you can do, the world. It is massive. Max Payne 3, Bully, Grand Theft Auto at least, Red Dead Redemption. It's just so enriching, and 100%. Duji's who said game of the decade is coming, and you think about everything, every Grand Theft Auto 5, everything they've done with it, everything you've seen, everything they've put into that. Now imagine, Rockstar don't half-ass anything. Now don't mention the Grand Theft Auto trilogy edition. Like, let's not mention that at all. Let's push that to the side. they're going to take all that and imagine what they're going to, project this into the next game. Now, obviously, this is the next game that's going to carry on the next 10 years, exactly what Grand Theft Auto 5 is doing. So I can't even fathom what is going to be in that game. How much the world building, what you can do, because Grand Theft Auto 5 changed so much when that dropped. And it still makes them a shit ton of money. People are like, oh, games are this, games that. Grand Theft Auto 5 has made more money than any blockbuster movie, period, and continues to make that kind of money. So you think what's going to happen in Grand Theft Auto 6 is just going to be absolutely mind-blowing. Now, I'm also happy with Grand Theft Auto 6. Would I have been happy if we got Bully 2 or Bully 2? That would have been really good, but just like everybody else, I can't wait to see this trailer. There is no particular date for the trailer drop, but it is early December. So take that as you will, but that's just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. So get ready. I don't know. I don't think it would be, as a lot of people predicted, that it would be going back to Vice City, because obviously Grand Theft Auto 4 was piggybacking off, was the same setting as Grand Theft Auto 3. Grand Theft Auto 5 was the same setting as San Andreas. So could this be Vice City? Send the Vice City? I would be down, but at the same time, I would love a setting like that. Just the music, just the whole environment would be great. But I don't know. There's been a lot of leaks, so when it's sitting where it'll be, I don't know. But the only thing that is biggest rumor I've seen multiple times is that they will still do the three-way between three characters, but one of them will be a girl this time. And I have no doubt it will do extremely a lot better than the remake or reboot or the relaunch of Saints Row that we got last year, which was a giant pile of utter trash. I did review it. I did semi-enjoy it, the setting, which you could do, but to relaunch a franchise or do no, that was bad. That was bad. So bad. So, moving on. This one was really weird. This was weird. I did not know this was in production, but the fact that it got shelved. It's shelved, which it says shelved, but it essentially means cancelled. So Warner Brothers were making a movie called Coyote versus Acme with John Cena starring, James Gunn producing. This was on the horizon. It's been about a year, I think, since principal photography has been completed, and they have announced they have shelved this. Now, this was going to be in the same vein as Roger Rabbit, Looney Tunes Back in Action, Cool Town, if anyone remembers that one. W for GTA, 100%. Now, I'm kind of gutted because A, it's John Cena, A, it's Wile E. Coyote, and produced by James Gunn. So obviously it's going to be good. So whether or not maybe they're shelving it because of the striking, or because of all the delays, but I do really hope this and obviously John Cena has the comedy chops. But I'm gutted this has been shelved. For something I did not know that was in production, I saw it. I was like, oh, that would have been pretty good. That would have been really good. But what can you do? I don't know. I know with Batgirl that we were meant to get this year, that has been officially cancelled, whereas the report for this has been shelved. So could mean different things. Now, this is what I talk about delays. Delay. Now, I said in the last episode of this show, I said, I quote, 2024 is going to be the biggest year in Marvel. We're getting Deadpool, we're getting Cap, we're getting Thunderbolts. It's going to be a massive year with no delays. And I was totally wrong until today. So in the space of 24 hours, we're going, yay, strikes are done. Let's get back into production. We get an announcement from Marvel the next day going, hey, we're going to be back in production. Here's a whole bunch of delays. And they're not going to be the last. So let's break it down. Deadpool 3 has been moved from March 2024 to July 2024. Cap 4 has been moved from July 2024 to Feb 2025. And Blade is moved from Feb 2025 to November 2025. So what was meant to be a really big year for Marvel has now reduced to one film. We're getting one Marvel film this year. Now, a good friend of mine, I did make a mistake a little bit on Instagram. I did say I could not. I don't know if it's ever been done before. The fact that Marvel's only had one movie come out a year, and I couldn't fathom. And there was 1 year where we only got one Marvel film, and that was Iron Man 2 in 2010. That was the last time that we only got one Marvel film. So 10 years later, we're having none of Marvel's fault. Now, the only thing I'm going to say about all these delays is I'm gutted. I'm disappointed. I'm like, what can you do? Is that this will give them more time. This will give them more time for special effects, creativity. This might give a bit of a breathing room for Marvel to restructure everything. Now, I know I've already seen half the memes of everyone posting going, oh, look, when Kevin Feige originally announced all this, he was expected it was going to be coming out this date. Now, look, when he announced all of that, none of us could have predicted the fallout of a global pandemic and the fact that two strikes would happen. It's completely out of his control. There's nothing he could have done that was going to happen. Look, yes, there's a plan. Everything being pushed. Like, you got to give the man a break. The man's an absolute beast to what he's doing, but I'm hoping this will give it a little bit more breathing room and give that little bit of space for all the Marvel projects. But yeah, out of all of the projects that got delayed last year, I'm glad that we're at least getting Deadpool, which Ryan Reynolds just posted the other day of Deadpool. The Deadpool dog will be in the movie. So, and apparently they start back shooting after Thanksgiving, which is in December. I think that's December. We don't have Thanksgiving here in Australia, so I don't actually know when Thanksgiving is. So, because we don't have Thanksgiving because we think the fact that one time a year you have to be with all your family in one little house and getting stuff with food is good enough. We don't need to. So that is the biggest news that has happened in the past week, ladies and gentlemen. So much has happened, and I know this will feel like a bit of a Marvel-esque episode. It's only because of the fact that we got the Loki season 2 finale, and we also got Marvels, which just dropped as well. Look, and also we will be entering spoiler territory. So spoilers left, right, and center. So no one can tell me anything. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are at the end of Loki. Not only are we at the end of Loki, we're at the end of Loki season 2. Now, I'm going to say, Tom Hiddleston, Loki has to be the most let me rephrase that. Loki has to be the most well-written, the most diverse, well-structured, from beginning to end character in the entire MCU. I have to say it. His journey from getting introduced to Thor to now, it's just been one hell of a journey, and that is been because of Tom Hiddleston's performance. Every time he gets on screen, he gives 110%. And not only that, then this week as well, him and his wife actually broke a record. His wife is in the Marvels playing the villain. So in 24 hours, his final episode happens, and his wife movie drops at the same time. So I think it's the first married couple of actors that have both been in a Marvel film where both their films are coming out the same week. There you go. But yeah, Tom Hiddleston has just nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. once again, and his performance is just this episode. The fact that we've come to the end, we're at the end, ladies and gentlemen. We're at that point, and this episode was an emotional roller coaster, and it's sad, it's funny, it's full circle. It's full circle. Full circle, I have to say. So Loki, at the beginning of the episode, knows how to control. After last week's episode, he knows how to control his powers. He's time slipping. He's figured out how to use it. So what he does is he goes back to right before the loom exploded, when they were sending Victor Timely down. And then what he does is that once he realizes that they're too late, so they have to do it sooner. So which breaks into this giant montage where he keeps going back sooner and sooner and sooner in that same scene to get him to go to the loom quicker. Victor Timely does die multiple times, and then Loki gets this idea. It's like, okay, the part they build for the loom, he's like, oh, OB, how long would it take for you to teach me everything you know about quantum physics to build? It's like centuries. Lovely tagline. We get centuries later. So what Loki does, he spends centuries doing this time loop again and again and again. I always like to say centuries is 100 years. It's 100 years. Someone's going to correct. I feel like someone's going to correct me on that. He does this. He realizes. So it's this episode. Half of it is Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day meets Marvel. Sorry, excuse me. So as he learns anything, he does it sooner and sooner and sooner. Which he does say, well, I'm going to do this again. Now, as he goes to do that, they stop the loom. It gets bigger. It takes everything in. And Loki's like, yes, we've done it. There's some beautiful scenes between all of them where it's like, oh, how do you know what's going to happen? He's like, trust me, I know. And you're going to say this, and you're going to say that. Love it. Love the interaction with Loki. Great performance by Tom Hiddleston. Now, we have a moment. We're like, yes, the loom is getting bigger. It's done. Doing fantastic. It's great. But it still goes boom. Still explodes. And Loki is sitting there going, I can't figure out why. I can't figure out why it still happens. And as it still happens, he speaks to Victor Timely, which Timely does say it's inevitable. It doesn't matter how big or what you do, the loom will always explode. It always will get to that point. And keep doing it every single time. So Loki's just sitting there, he's pondering, he's like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Or what can I do? So then we get this great scene where he actually I've got the hiccups. Oh, I've got the hiccups. Can't believe that. He goes back because he realizes the fact this all keeps happening. It's inevitable. So he has to go back to the point in which this all caused. So we go straight back to the ending of Loki season 1 at the end, where Sylvie kills He Who Remains. Now, he tries to stop her multiple times. The same thing happens again and again, different fights. Still gets into a time lapse. However, he turns around and starts talking to He Who Remains, who stops time. And as he stops time, he has a conversation with Kang. Again, Jonathan Majors' performance is fantastic. He even jokes about Victor Timely, going, oh, you met Victor? You met Victor? Yeah, like he makes that joke. And he realizes the fact that he knows what's going to happen. He knows where they are. And he says that the loom exploding it's a failsafe. if there's too many branches, it will explode, taking out the TVA and leaving this sacred timeline in place. Which again, that's the third thing where Loki's gone, shit, it's still going to happen. Every time it's still going to happen. And then Loki also gets even more, realizes more powers where he can actually stop time altogether. Because obviously they keep getting rid of Sylvie in the scene, which Sylvie keeps saying to me, if you want to end this, if you want me to not kill him, then you will have to kill me. Which made me think of, what was that? I can't remember what movie it is. Like, if you want to stop me, you're going to have to effing kill me. That's what I saw that scene as. Now, as he's realized, there's great conversation with him. And then he realizes the fact that because of what's happening, what can he do? So then he goes back and he sees Sylvie. He goes speak to Sylvie, always asking for permission. The fact, can I kill you? Which she doesn't give permission. But he says, like, you have to find a way. It's wrong. The fact that we still go down this road, there has to be another way. Which, Loki still figures out. And then excuse me. Then he goes back even further and goes back to even further season 1, where him and Morbius are about to go watch his highlight reel, which was a great season, and great episode. So great episode. It looks like he's going to, he does cry because he sees his whole life pattern through flash through his eyes. So he has a great conversation with Morbius about, what would you do and how can you think? And we get a great background of Morbius and Renslayer. So in season 1, they got a tight relationship. They've worked together for many, many years. Which Morbius has a story which is sad and brutal at the same time. Which the story is that was one where he's saying we have to keep the overall plan in mind. He said there was these 2 hunters. They went into a timeline, had to prune a kid. The hunter hesitated, and because of that, 5,000 lives have been lost in that timeline. Other hunters died, and his partner pruned the kid. And he's like, you just have to live with it. And Morbius said, Loki's like, who was your partner? He goes, Renslayer. And you're like, shit. Like, that's rough. That's rough. But, what, Morbius has gone through, which has been great. And not to mention, I will say with this last episode, both season 1, season 2 are 2 chapters of the same story, which complement the story. Fantastic. So then what Loki does is that after he speaks to him, he goes right back before the loom explodes. He goes down in there, says, he's like, I know what to do. I got to do this for all of us. And I will, I did it for you, or do it for all of us, which I didn't even realize, which was a great callback to Thor when he's about to fall off the Bifrost Bridge. And he says, to Odin, I did this for you, all of us. And he's like, no, Loki. And that's where he goes to die. First time out of many. So what Loki does is that he goes out to the conveyor belt. His clothes start changing back to what he looked like in his Loki outfit, but slightly different. He destroys the loom, destroys it. All these branches go flying. All these branches go boom everywhere. Loki touches one. He touches another. And it's like they're dead branches, but then he gives it life, breathes life back into it. Because he's like, I know the God I want to be. I know what I have to do. So as he's walking, he's grabbed all these branches in his new suit. He walks to the end of time, which this one is the original one after last episode in Loki. He takes it. He sits on the throne with holding on to all these branches to keep them safe and keep them going without multiple branches. So he got the throne. He got the throne at a giant cost of his biggest fear, being alone. Tom Hiddleston did a great job. You see him on the throne, sorry, and you see how scared he is. You're like, oh my god, I got scared, but he's happy his friends are safe. So I did see this in a meme. It was like, so Loki has to sit on a throne forever by himself, while Morbius gets to be with his kids, and Sylvie gets to go work at Macca's for the rest of whatever her days or whatever. Because don't forget, she still has He Who Remains time pad. So this episode was just the writing, the back and forth, the montage, all of it. Morbius quits the TVA. He goes back. Hunter 15. She basically takes control of TVA, which we see is flourishing. A lot of people are happy working together. Miss Minutes is back because she's been rebooted thanks to Casey. Whether they're going to kill him is a different story. But everything is set forward. Now, don't forget, Miss Minutes and Morbius are scheduled to appear in Deadpool 3 because the TVA will be involved because of what Deadpool's doing. But there's no after credit scene. There's none of that. That's how it ends. And Loki is at the end of time holding all the branches in his Loki outfit and becomes the god of stories, which is a direct link to the comic book called Loki, God of Stories, about rewriting this all, and it's just. Now, we do know Tom Hiddleston will return as Loki in Kang Dynasty and Secret Invasion, so that's when but this, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last time we see Loki for a little while. This will be, but just goddamn. I'm like, everything. The best final to a Disney Plus TV show, Marvel, I have to say. No other final has made me feel that emotional. Oh my god, where's this going to go? Which except for the last Loki final, which is what the just happened. Now there is no. Before you ask questions, there is no Loki season 3. It's not confirmed. This was built as chapters, chapter 1, chapter 2, and that's it. It is done. But Tom Hiddleston, I feel like, needs to put himself a pat back and go, yeah, I'm done for now. He's one of the rare characters who's been from the start, and just the way his characters kept him reinvent himself. Now, probably the only thing I really wish we did get was him seeing Thor. In some form or fashion. However, sorry, Kevin Feige has mentioned that that Loki will meet Thor at some point again. That will happen. Because as you said, Thor said the sun will shine on us again, brother. So Loki will meet Thor once again, because if Thor 5 is currently in development, as we know from the post-credit scene after Thor. But god damn, that Loki final, season 6, Glorious Purpose. He goes Glorious Purpose. He found his place, and this is Marvel. This is Marvel. This is what it's all about. This week has been an absolute win for Marvel, except for the delays. Don't mention the delays, but it's been an absolute win. But tell me, what did you think about the final? Do you think what you liked, what you don't like? What do you think? But overall, this was the best show of the year. Best show of the year for Marvel, Loki. And look, I don't know how it's going to go, but this might be the best Marvel TV show for a while, depending how the other shows may come out. But Round of a freaking applause, please. But Loki win. Now, the Marvels. Now, we got to see the Marvels this past week. Now, the Marvels is the last Marvel movie of the year, and for a while, it was going to be the last one. This movie has been in development. Has been in development since the first Captain Marvel. Now it's been in development. This is a sequel to Captain Marvel, Endgame, Miss Marvel, WandaVision, and there was that's it. That is awful. It's all sequels to that. Now, I'm gonna be one of those people. When I first saw the trailer, I was a bit like, this looks like a giant pile of shit. Giant pile of shit. That's why I saw it as. I was like, this is gonna look bad. And then, I was one of those people. And I'm gonna tell you, black and blue, I was totally wrong about the Marvels. This is an absolute win for Marvel. This is a lot better than Ant-Man. This is, if it wasn't for the Guardians of the Galaxy this year, this would be number one on the list. Now, we always get, Brie Larson comes back, Tantonia, Monica Rambeau, Iman Villeneuve, Miss Khan as Miss Marvel. A lot of people return for this film, which picks up directly off those last few movies I did mention. Now, currently, right now, this is a stinger, which might be the backside of Marvel. It's currently the budget for this film was $270 million. Currently, right now, as I'm recording this, it's only $10 million at the box office. Now, a lot of people were hating on this film. I was one of them. I'm not gonna hide from it. I was one of them. I didn't think it was going to be very good. I thought it was going to be another dud. Obviously, Ant-Man 3 hurt me, but Jesus Christ, give this movie a chance. Pay your money for this. I thought I was going to do shit, and the reviews have been a bit iffy. In saying that, the majority of everyone who's seen this film is loving it. I know there's negative people out there, but I've seen overwhelming positive about this film. Now, yes, I will mention the fact the trailer I feel like showed too much. They try to pull on the heartstrings. There's also new lines from Thanos, which doesn't fit with the movie, and there is no Thanos reference in the movie at all. And as I mentioned, we are in spoiler territory. I will mention again. Now, we see now, yes, also Earth has a space station, by the way. So that was the other one. This is also a sequel to Secret Invasion. On top of that, that's also there too. Sorry, excuse me. This Pixar where Nick Fury is working with Monica Rambeau, and Captain Marvel's still going through space, trying to figure out her memories. She's still been away from Earth for a very long time. The last time we saw Captain Marvel, besides Miss Marvel, was in Shang-Chi with the rings, and Kamala Khan. That picks up straight off what she was doing as well. That's how they all, it's honestly pick up and go. So this movie only goes for 2 hours, but it is red hot. It just goes. So what we find out is Zawe Ashton, which is Tom Hiddleston's wife, who plays Darbin, who is a Kree warrior, which we do get a flashback of her in her Kree outfit. She's got the Roland Lacunas's hammer, and what she's going. We see her go on this planet, and she gets the wristband that we see that Kamala Khan has. It's called a quantum band, which I did think it would make more sense with the arm they found because the Kree, but all that. But anyway, and she's using it to make now. Little did I know that, in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, when we saw them jump through, hyper jump through space through the hexagons, little, little did I realize those hexagons would be so important. So what has happened is Captain Marvel, obviously, after that, she went to go destroy the Supreme Intelligence, which is Skrull's, ruined her life. She destroys the Supreme Intelligence, which creates a civil war on the planet of the Kree, and it has basically doomed the planet. No water, no sun, and so what Darbin is doing is she's going to different planets that, because we find out that Captain Marvel is called the Destroyer, which she does mention she hates that name. You find out that she is going to the planets that means the most to Captain Marvel, creating a portal permanently open, sucking the resources that she needs for her home planet. So we see that she goes to one planet and she goes to one planet where the Skrulls refugee, which is a good scene, very sad. When they do a rescue, she opens a portal and sucks out the air from the planet. I honestly, God, I can't believe I've got these hiccups. Of all the times to get these hiccups. She does that, and then she does that, and then we see her go to another planet where she sucks up all the water. Now that planet, I know that planet was really cool, which I will get into that. And then the last thing, she goes to Earth to suck up the sun. Now, why that is her plan as it unfolds, we also get to find out because she's using the wristband, it's messing with Monica and Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel's powers. So, which we see in the trailer that every time they use their powers, they swap and go everywhere. This have to say, the dynamic between these three, the action scenes of when they go pulsing around is the best bit, and I love it. It is fantastic. It's funny. Their interaction, Miss Marvel she's a what the references she makes. She's a fan just like the rest of us. Love it. She did fantastic. Out of this, see more Monica Rambeau. That was good too. That was a highlight. And yes, Earth currently now has a space station called Saber, run by Nick Fury, which we did get mentioned the fact that in Secret Invasion we knew that already. And so because Dabin's making these portals, it's tearing basically this network of hyperspace jumps, basically ruining them, which can tear the fabric of reality. Because we find out the fact that the other wristband that she wants to get are called quantum rings, which basically were used as legend to create all the portals that we do see. Now that just crazy. That's also was a bit like, okay, and again plays in the factor of like I don't know how to Marvel. I don't know how to explain it. Put quantum in it, and boom, there's the science right there. So in quantum realm, quantum rings, it just just works. So after they do that, so they all join forces, and Miss Marvel's all happy for Captain Marvel, which we find out that their dynamic is a little bit skewed with. So Monica, obviously, Rambeau is annoyed at Carol because the fact that she hasn't seen her, she's been disappeared for so long from the first movie, from when she was a kid, nearly 30 years. She didn't get to see her mum who passed away, which we do know she passed away in the blip. So this movie does a great of recapping, giving it to speed. If I wasn't a massive Marvel fan and watching everything that comes out, I do believe the fact if you're just watching from this fresh from the movies and not watching the TV shows, I think it keeps you up to speed really good. It wasn't a little bit too like, oh, you need to know this. They did the recaps really well. And also not only about the recaps, but the fact that Kamala Khan's family is one of the highlights too in their dynamic. They stay in the picture for the entire time. They were in there a lot more than I expected, I must admit. Uh, a lot longer, but they're there for the entire time. Great dynamic there. And with Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, it never disappoints. But you also find out that, why Carol's been away from Earth, because everything happened with the Sigma intelligence and what happened on the Kree planet. She feels responsible. She also struggles with the fact that with Kamala Khan's such a big fan and trying to understand, she's not a hero because of what happened, that whole aspect, which is also great. So the CGI, the acting, the performance, the highlights of this movie is when all three of them get together and they're talking and the action. Fantastic. And even Zawi, she did a great job as being the villain. Yes, this is another one-time Marvel villain, but I feel like she's still got her impact. And even talking about impact, Goose, the cat, makes impact with a disgusting scene, which you would not see coming, which I don't think I'll spoil that, but whoa, that is the last thing I thought I was going to see in a Marvel movie. It's not gruesome, it's just gross. It's just like, ugh. But one of the highlights is as they go into this is a universe movie, is they go to a planet. They go to a planet called Alderaan. So it's a water planet, and this is the one of the Darbian attacks. So we get to meet Prince Yarn, played by Park Si-joon. I probably butchered that terribly. I'm not gonna lie. And this is the funny thing, is that the planet is, they sing, they don't talk. Their talking is singing. So they're all singing around and what's going on. You find out that Carol is actually a princess because of what happened. Well, not because of what happened, but mutual agreement to be a princess. And Brie Larson sings, because don't forget, Brie Larson can sing. And the last time I saw her sing was Scott Pilgrim versus the World. If anyone remembers that movie, so you get to see that as well. Thank you very much, Malin. Partner, person proud of you. Thank you very much. This whole planet sings. That's great. This leads into another action set piece. We also get to see the team in their brand new updated costumes as well, which Kamala Khan's one, I probably liked her old one, but I still liked it. Captain Marvel, I did like hers too. So did Monica's, massive upgrade. Loved it. So they all get brand new suits. So that works out really well and looks fantastic. Which then leads us to they have the battle at Earth, because Dabbing gets the sun. After a great dynamic with the team, once again, realizing how they can do and how they can fight, which breaks down into a montage of them all learning each other's powers, which again is done so well. And I loved it. I said this movie I really enjoyed more. Like, my expectation was so low, and it's probably wrong of me. I did, but it was a great movie. It was actually really enjoyable and really funny and different. And it made me think, like, not say other pros, but I was like, Marvel to the T. Now leads us to the fight scene right at the end, which is not a beam in the sky, thank God. So obviously what happens is that Dabbing does get the other wristband because she tricks Captain Marvel. And as she goes to use the powers, it actually disintegrates her. Yes, she's got to hold it like that. Right? Actually disintegrates her altogether. But it's made a rip. Very similar like Spider-Man No Way Home, but in hexagon, it makes a rip in the space continuum, which Monica Rambeau is like, I can fix this. She can absorb energy. So like, shoot me while you got, and I'll go fix it. She goes up. She goes to go fix it, but she's going to do it from the other side. So as she's pulling everything apart, Carol realizes the fact that she's not coming back. She mentions it because Carol flies really fast to go save her. However, boom, closes the door, and Monica's gone. And what happens is that Carol moves into the house, which we saw in the first Captain Marvel movie. I think Kamala Khan's going to live with her. I don't know. It's a weird vibe. It's also funny how she had the two Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan had the two wristbands, and then one goes to Captain Marvel, one goes to her. So I don't know why. She obviously could control the power, so I don't know if it's like a safety thing or what. But yeah, she doesn't have that anymore, but she can still use her powers, which each one of them, their powers are showed and displayed really well. That is another highlight of this. And they all save the day. Now, there is one after credit scene, which I've never seen Marvel do this, but it was slightly spoiled in the trailer. So Monica wakes up and she sees an alternate version of her mum, Maria. She's in a different suit, where she is Captain Marvel, which we obviously seen that in Doctor Strange, or it's going to last very long, but we all just see it, and then we get to see, we see Kelsey Grammer as Beast rock up, and you hear the X-Men theme. Once again, X-Men. This is the second time we have seen the X-Men in the MCU, but it's not our timeline. It's not our 616 timeline. It's not. We get to see it's more, I would say, it's more CGI. Again, it is, oh my God, I forgot his name. Kelsey Grammer. I can't believe that. He reprised the role. I would say this version of Beast was very reminiscent of the old X-Men 1997 cartoon. It was a bit more CGI, which I understand why. Kelsey Grammer loves the character. He's come back for Days of Future Past ever since X-Men 3, so I have no doubt that he was like knocking at Marvel's door, being like, if you are going to use him, please pick me. And if someone does ask, oh, why was it Nicholas Hoult? This is an older version of Beast, so a little bit older, had the white trench coat. We see the X-Men doors, and Monica is now in some universe with the X-Men. Cut. Done. Only one. I am disappointed we only got one, but there is only one. But again, we get a great X-Men theme. X-Men on the MCU, because Kamala Khan is a mutant. However, it's still not our universe, so it's a little bit annoying. But there is a lot that you could take into this, with the crack in the realities, the X-Men, of what is going to happen in future with Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty. But this movie, rating out of 10, I give this a 7 or an 8. I have to say, this movie is LCR approved. It's, we also get Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. She also makes an appearance very briefly. However, I don't feel like it's a massive spoiler because of the fact she was also spoiled in the trailer as well. But we also, that is the after credit scene. The one little bit later we get is I forgot to mention, Kamala Khan does the whole Nick Fury thing of like, you think you're the only superhero in the world? I'm here to discuss you making a team. Where she goes see Kate Bishop, Haley Steinfeld. No, Haley was the other one. Haley Steinfeld. She comes back. We haven't seen her since Hawkeye. So 1 year later, she makes an appearance, and she's down for it. I'm pretty sure also Haley did mention briefly in a brand new interview that she's so excited to get back to this universe. So we see that the Young Avengers are on their way. Don't know when they're going to appear, but that's in the background. This was definitely felt Marvel. This felt connected, which I know a lot of people were like, oh, everything's so like not connecting. Oh, nothing leads to anything. This is very entangled thread into the MCU, obviously with Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man. But also, I forgot to tell you, Loki also does make a reference to Ant-Man of Kang in Ant-Man is Dead. So we do get that. But Marvel's absolute win. The movie is 2 hours, not too long. beat for beat, gets the entire thread of the MCU moving forward. Yes, unfortunately, next Marvel movie is July, but the next Marvel TV show is Echo. So get on that, get back on the hype train, get off the hate train and get on the hype train for Marvel. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is my review for the Marvels. That is my review for Loki season final. That's the biggest news that's happened in the past week. As always, thank you very much for coming back for every single episode. And until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.